What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to some more World of Tanks. Today I've got another guest replay for you guys to check out, featuring my main man SiNz taking out the IS-6 here on Pacific Island in a standard battle matchup. Now, SiNz has featured on this channel once before, as far as I'm aware. It may have been more than once, but as far as I can tell, he's featured on this channel once before when he took out his Cromwell Knight and had an absolute beast of a game and sent it over to me, and that replay went up on the channel. This time around, however, like I just said, he is taking out the IS-6 on Pacific Island, so it's a top tier matchup in the tier 8 Russian premium heavy tank. An absolute favorite of mine, like a go-to premium tank. I would suggest anyone to play the IS-6 because it is such a beast. The gun is probably the only letdown with regards to the tank. The gun and the penetration, but aside from that, it is an absolute beast. And if you know where to shoot, the gun and the penetration isn't going to be too much of a problem. So it kind of counterbalances it, but that's what it's supposed to do. SiNz and his friend in the Tiger 88 have moved to the left-hand side here on Pacific Island. SiNz is trying to gauge a shot at the Motherland, but the Motherland backs into cover. He's going to sit there and present his turret. SiNz takes a speculative shot, and unfortunately it misses and doesn't hit the mark. Doesn't get him off the board. Now, SiNz is spotted at this point. You saw the house that just got destroyed in front of him, so he knows that something is shooting at him from the hill. Where he was positioned, you can be fired upon from the D3-4 area. So he got out of that mess. And now he's going to try and get some shots at these guys again. The Motherland lights him up. He lets the gun aim, and that shot goes straight where he wanted it to, through the side of the Motherland's armor for a nice roll of 404. So a slightly high roll. The average damage on the IS-6's gun is 390 for this 122mm. SiNz is trying to get a shot at the Panther 88. He should be able to get it here. And he does, successfully tracking the Panther 88 in place. Now, I must admit, he's kind of not using the IS-6 how it should be used in the early stages of the game. Because he's taken two relatively, well, the Motherland shot wasn't very far away. But shooting at the Panther 88 from range is not, it's not the IS-6's greatest ability. Because you need to get up close and personal so to counteract the negative accuracy of the gun. The closer you get, the more likely you are to hit your target. And sniping in an IS-6, while can work, is not the best idea. But a nice shot through the side of the Tiger 2 there before his friend and platoon mate in the Tiger 88 took him out. Now, I would have expected him to push up a bit more aggressively, but that's just how he's playing at the moment. He's got 3 hits of damage, so he is off the board, and now he's pushing up like I thought he would. He gets spotted by the Panther 88 again. The Panther is going to try and take a speculative shot. He misses, and SiNz's return shell misses the Panther 88, and he gets hit by one of the tank destroyers camping on the hill. Now he has a 59-16 to lead a shot at, and does so successfully, skillfully taking out the light tank while the light tank was on the move. He's going to try and get a shot at the Churchill gun carrier here, or the Panther 88. Aiming for the Panther. Waits for the Panther to stop. Unfortunately, the Panther stops too early. That happens to me so much. You lead a shell and you think that the enemy tank isn't going to stop, but it does. And when it stops is when you've already fired. So he's going to crest the ridge again. Unfortunately, that one misses as well, and then he gets tracked by the Borsig, who is camping on the hill, which he cannot spot. But he's going to crest once again and successfully deliver an 122mm shell to the side of the Panther 88, dealing 404 damage in the process. He was very, very lucky not to take a damaging shot from the Borsig right there. The Borsig is one of the tanks at tier 8, which has no problem dealing with the IS-6's armor because of the amazing gun that it has. It's probably one of the tanks one of a few tanks that you don't want to come across when you are in the IS-6. And now he's going to try and finish off the Panther 88. Unfortunately, the shell goes a bit too high. Such is the nature of the IS-6's gun, as you guys can tell. He's missed a few shots that probably should have hit, but that's just how the gun performs on this tank. That's just how it is. That's how it is balanced. The armor is absolutely beast, so to balance the tank, the gun has to be relatively derpy. But SiNz is pushing up. His friend in the Jagdtiger 88 is still alive as well. He's on 5 hits of damage, and he's got 2 critical hits so far. The AMX Chaffee is presenting himself behind him, but SiNz is going to swing to the left and crest the ridge once again, trying to get a shot into the Churchill gun carrier and the Borsig over in D3, D4. Now again, I would have expected him to push up a bit more, to be a bit more aggressive in the IS-6, considering he's almost on full health as well. Now there's a T-28 prototype in the D3, D4 area, and he's just trying to get some shots at this point, but unsuccessfully, because the tanks, the heavy tanks spotted well, basically in front of him, they are positioned in a point where he can't get some shots over to them. And the enemy tanks are pretty much securing the win at this point. They are leading by 4 tanks, so it's 4 versus 8 at this point. So SiNz is outnumbered 2 to 1. He bounces a shell from the T-28 prototype, but now the Chaffee has got himself in the open, and SiNz successfully delivers the killing blow to the Chaffee before bouncing the T-28 once again. Although the first shot was eaten by SiNz's tracks, but he successfully bounced the second shot. I can kind of see why he's positioned where he's positioned now, though, because the enemy team are going to want to be aggressive, and had he have been out in the open, he wouldn't have been in a very good position to defend himself. T-29 is cresting up ahead, should be able to get a shot through the side and tracking him in the process as well, rolling for 389. He should be able to reload before the T-29 can back up. Just as the T-29 repairs his tracks and backs up, SiNz fires his last AP round, which unfortunately bounced because it hit a very odd angle on the T-29, but his friend in the Jagdtiger 88 has tracked the T-29 in place, allowing SiNz to place a shell into him before his friend takes the T-29 out. Now it's 3 versus 5, and unfortunately his friend gets taken out by the T-28 prototype, and he's all alone by himself over here. The T-28 prototype is going to be aggressive, and SiNz's APCR round bounces off of the front of the T-28. T-28 has very, very decent front armor for its own tier. So SiNz aims for the turret instead, and that one penetrates, rolling for 402. Now he has to deal with a T-29 and a T-28 prototype all at the same time. So angling for the T-29, he bounces the T-29 shell and sticks a shot through the side of the T-29. But the T-28 and the T-29 are going to be pushing him at the same time here. So it's a question of who is he going to focus on and what is he going to do. Unfortunately, that shell hits the ground. Such is the nature of the IS-6's gun once again. I imagine the T-29 is probably going to get brave once the T-28 is coming over, and that's exactly what is happening here. That one, again, unfortunately misses, and the T-28 YOLOs over the hill and gets a shell through the front of SiNz. But SiNz, knowing that the T-28 has a quite long reload and can't traverse his turret fully, hits the accelerator and circles round the T-28. Now the T-28 doesn't have a shot at SiNz until now, and then the T-29 gets in the way, but SiNz is cleverly focusing on the T-28, knowing that the T-28 has the better gun, and he takes out the T-28 instead. At this point he was 1 versus 4, now he's 1 versus 3. Gets a shot through the side of the T-29. He's going to angle his armor to bounce the T-29's next shell, if he doesn't finish him off. Unfortunately, that one tracks him. He bounces the T-29 shell. And now he should be able to get a shot straight through the T-29's hull armor and finish him off. Now a VK-3001D is closing in. And he has mobility on his side, but SiNz is soon to be reloaded. The 3001D doesn't push out. SiNz is going to try and push him, but now has to focus his attention to the Borsig, because that is the most dangerous gun. He takes the Borsig out, takes one shell from the 3001D, and then switches his attention to the medium tank. He's just going to push the medium tank aggressively. Wait for him to come around the corner. He should be able to angle his armor and bounce the next shell. It's 1 versus 1. The odds are in SiNz's favor. The IS-6 has good mobility, good enough mobility to deal with this medium tank in this situation. And being that it's only a tier 6 and SiNz has unbelievable levels of armor, he should be okay. Now this is for the Top Gun medal. This will secure his 6th kill, earning him the Top Gun and the win for his team. Is he going to be able to pull it off? 3001D isn't done, but he should be able to get him here. It looks as if he's done enough, and he has. Pushing out at the exact right moment to auto-aim the shell through the 3001D, and he finishes him off. But now, let's take a look at the post-game screenshots to see how he did. So taking a look at the post-game screenshots, we can see that SiNz picked up a grand total of 5,557 damage done with 16 penetrations. He destroyed 6 enemy tanks, 1 enemy tank detected, and blocked just shy of 2,000 damage, racking up a total of 124,715 silver, as well as 3,227 experience. That is not with his daily double as well, so very impressive results without the double XP. And he picked up a high caliber medal, he picked up the first class mastery badge, he picked up a steel wall medal, and he picked up a Top Gun medal as well. So very, very impressive from SiNz in this particular replay. Taking a look at the team stats, we can see that he topped his team by about 3,200 damage, and not a bad result at all. There wasn't even anybody close to him on his team or the enemy team. He racked up the most damage by far. So very, very impressive results. All the bias because he was playing the IS-6. That is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you did enjoy. I will catch you in the next one. Until then, have a wicked Sunday. Peace out. Boom, boom, boom.